Hey, welcome back to the Weekly Fury. I'm Josh.
I'm Sean.
And we have another great week of sports topics for you today. The Cubs just won the game fucking 5, and I am feeling good, so I'm ready to go ahead and get into this. Sean, are you ready?
Maybe. We'll see.
All right. Well, our first topic for this week is, of course, Thursday Night Football. Bears versus Packers.
Over with.
Sean, what'd you think about that game?
Well, Josh, it was pretty boring. it was pretty boring.
As usual, another boring primetime game,
pretty
right?
Much all Thursday night games have been pretty shitty. Bears lost Brian Hoyer. That was their only chance to win that game.
Broke his fucking arm. I don't know if you saw that, but it was pretty nasty.
Clay Matthews helmet right into the forearm. That looked like it hurt.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers finally got it together, in the second half, but I think that's just after the Bears just got too tired.
Yeah, man.
So it was rough, man. Both teams look horrible.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron Rodgers he was doing good. For some reason, he didn't find Jordy Nelson tonight, but he found everybody else. Ty Montgomery doing pretty much a little bit of everything. He took snaps at running back. So did Cobb, I think. And it is what it is. I picked the Bears to win because I love my Bears, but I knew it wasn't going to work right. I mean, the Chicago Bears, let me tell you, man, they're really fucking pissing me off. I mean, I know you can't really do anything about injuries, but it's almost as if, like, John Fox refuses to even take chances. Like, throw the ball past 15 yards, please. It's just, like, take some fucking chances. Yeah. Do something. Because the defense, they played pretty bad tonight, but they've been pretty good up until this point. And, hell, they even got a fucking Floyd got a fumble for a touchdown. So, the Bears just need to fucking – I can't wait for Jay Cutler to get back. I know that sounds crazy, but I can't wait for him to get back because at least he takes chances.
Y'all have nothing else.
Right.
Y'all have to get Cutler back. But this is the typical, man. The NFL has been going down this path where all these Thursday games
just been garbage, man.
And horrible. And I think we mentioned this. Like, this is the only time I'll ever agree with Stephen A. Smith, but we need to get rid of Thursday Night Football. It's just the worst out there. There's so many penalties. We saw that last week. Such sloppy play, and I don't like it. Like, these teams are tired from the week before; they have no practice time, and it's like it's just sloppy play. And I understand you're trying to get more views, more money, but there's a point where you're putting these players also at jeopardy and getting hurt, and I don't know. I don't like it.
And it's terrible for fantasy players, and
that's why their ratings are going down.
Yeah, and. As a matter of fact, that's a good segue into our next topic.
Exactly.
The NFL ratings. They have dropped this year.
A lot.
What the fuck is going on? I think one of the reasons, as we just discussed, is Thursday Night Football. A little oversaturation of the NFL. Mm-hmm. You got Thursday games, you got Sunday games, you got fucking Monday night games. We got a London game coming up. I don't think anybody likes the fucking London games, do you?
Not that early. Like, you're going to make us wake up at 8:30 in the morning after a Saturday night? Like, who goes to sleep early on a Saturday night? Nobody. So nobody's going to wake up at 8:30 in the morning and watch that game. That's, honestly, it's stupid. They've had horrible primetime games. Thursday night, Sunday night, even Monday night. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, these games aren't even interesting until maybe the last 2 minutes of the games, right? But by then, you've got to capture their attention. And they're having these teams that are playing, like, they somewhat have a storyline, but at the end of the day, these teams aren't good. And to me, I feel like they need to have the option to, once they see how these teams are playing after like 4 weeks into the season, change these primetime games. Switch these games around because it's bad to me.
Yeah, it really is. And Roger Goodell said he doesn't think that the protest of the national anthem across the NFL has nothing to do with it. Do you agree with that? Do you think that
at the end of the day, we're all fans. Most of the time, not all games show the national anthem. Well, now they are because of the whole kneeling thing. But before, it was just like the primetime games that always show that, singing, all that. But now they're always focusing on that.
Now it's a whole
because it's a big story. Before, I'd be at the bar just checking my fantasy lineup. I'm not even watching the game. But I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know if that's the real reason. I feel like, yeah, there's some people that are against it, some people that aren't affected by it, but at the end of the day, you're watching a football game.
Yeah.
You're watching your team play.
I
don't think that has anything to do with it. I think it's the scheduling. I think it's them trying to
lack of competition
these teams together. Exactly. We've seen blowouts. Even tonight was a blowout. Even though it was a close game most of the time, it was a blowout at the end of the day.
And that's and that's the worst, right? I mean, having lack of competition on your prime time games. That's fucking just terrible. I mean, people are going to sleep during Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football. Who gives a shit? Like, even the diehard fans are like, all right.
Who played Sunday night? Wasn't it Colts and Houston? This past Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Was that Colts and Houston?
Yeah, that came down to the wire. Yeah.
It came down to the wire, but it was so boring throughout the game.
Up to that point, right?
Yeah. I don't know. It's
now,
just horrible.
Getting into our next topic.
Yep.
One of the reasons that's not hurting the ratings in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. The Dallas Cowboys are steamrolling right now. What do you think, man? I mean, come on, those are your boys.
Well,
what you got to say?
I just have to say, I knew
okay
it from all along.
Go ahead.
I had no doubt. All right. Let's snap back to reality here. I'm shocked. I didn't think that Dak would do this good. I'm truly impressed. I knew Elliott would.
Yeah.
Right. And I wanted us to draft him. We have you have that video of me screaming up and down when we drafted him fourth. I wanted us to draft Dak, and I like him, but I didn't think he'd be this good that fast. I thought he had to develop. But he's playing smart, and I think they're real. And we see what can happen when you have a rested defense and your offense is sustaining drives. Mm-hmm. That's the key in this NFL nowadays. It's not just always about high-scoring offenses. It's about sustaining drives and keeping your defense healthy or rested, per se. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I might be a little biased, so I'm going to let you kind of say what you have to say about it.
The Cowboys have been absolutely impressive. I mean, Dak Prescott, what he's doing as a rookie, I mean, it's just unprecedented. I mean, this dude is fucking amazing. I mean, that offensive line is the best of this era. I mean, you have to go back to the New England Patriots in the early 2000s, and before that, you're Dallas Cowboys again. And Ezekiel Elliott, I mean, this guy may even rush for 2,000 yards or even come close. And Dak Prescott, again, he's so good. Tony Romo, when he comes back, when he's fully healthy, I don't know if the Cowboys are going to want to play him now. I mean, I know me and you have said, hey, you got to go Romo, but it's been a couple weeks.
Yep.
What do you still say?
We talked about this.
What do you still say?
A couple weeks ago, we said Romo. We got to keep Romo. Now,
changing the tune a little bit there? I am.
Yeah.
I think I am.
I'll admit it. You got to, because at this point in time, you have such a good rhythm. You have a good game plans going in. Not even the number one rush defense can stop you from running for over 140. No, we ran for 190 yards, I think, in that game. So it's like, how can you break this up? You got a good chemistry. You got to keep it rolling. Even though I think Romo's still a better passer and more well-polished in a sense.
Yeah.
Dak has been playing really smart. He's not forcing stuff, and he's letting the offensive line do everything. And I love that. And that's why you hear him every time they ask him, he's crediting that offensive line. Because that's, I think, who's truly winning us our games.
And then, I mean, he's doing it without Des Bryant. I mean, it's just impressive, man. And I think the Cowboys are in a great place, and I think it's only going to get better as these guys, Ezekiel Elliott, Dak, mature more.
Develop.
So, all right. Exactly. Moving on to another team.
That just lost their starting quarterback.
Just lost their starting quarterback. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Big Ben goes down with a knee injury. He left the game, comes back, finishes the game, and now he's going to miss anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks.
Yep.
What do you think about the Steelers without Big Ben?
Steelers were, even though they did shit the bed against Dolphins, I thought they were going to be great. I thought they'd be fine. Every team has a hiccup, right, per se.
Yeah.
And Big Ben was going to be one of the guys that I thought would be MVP caliber or candidate this year because he's been destroying lately. But man, without him, that Steelers offense is it's going to be rough. We've already seen in the past, Landry Jones hasn't been able to produce. And they're going to be stacking up the box and stopping Le'Veon Bell, and they're going to make Landry throw, and I don't trust it. Even though he has Antonio Brown.
Uh-huh.
I don't trust it.
Well, I'll say this about Landry Jones. If I'm going to make a case for Landry Jones, it'll be this. There was only one game where he prepared, practiced with the starters, and was prepared to be the starting quarterback and took all the reps and played the entire game. And that was just one game last year. It was against the Kansas City Chiefs, and he did okay. I mean, and Kansas City Chiefs are no slouch at defense. So, I mean, it's such a small sample size, and I'm not expecting him to do even half of what Big Ben could do. But it doesn't hurt that you have the best receiver and one of the best running backs, right behind you. So I don't see them.
Point. We will have to see because, you're right. We haven't seen a lot, so we'll have to see. But I'm not.
But so far, it's not looking all that great for the Steelers.
Let's talk about another quarterback that just came back, Josh.
Who's our next topic?
I was going to say something inappropriate, but I figured I'd save that for later. But,
I mean, Cam Newton, after another disappointing loss against the Saints, he gives another one of those pouty-faced interviews, post-game interviews like he did the Super Bowl. And despite the fact that he said that he was going to work on that and he was going to try not to do that anymore and, give an indication that he was going to grow up a little bit more, no, it didn't happen. He still acts like
it's like that little kid. Like they say they're not going to do it again, but then they do it again. You know? So it's like Cam Newton's got to grow, man.
He's their leader. He's supposed to be their leader. Exactly. Come on.
You got to lose with what's the word I'm looking for? You got to lose
professionalism?
Dignity. I was going to say that, but that works. No, but I feel like you can't go into a situation and you expect yourself to win. You want to win, and you got to be competitive. I understand that. Me and you are very competitive. But when it comes down to it, you got to be ready to lose a game too, because there's a 50-50 chance there. It's not like you're always going to win a game. It's a football game. That's not all on you. There's other players, and it wasn't him. It was his defense that lost the game. He brought them back. So at that point, man, you got to hold your head up high, and you're creating a distraction for your team because that's all the press is going to be talking about. And I don't like it, man. You got to grow up and be the leader and role model.
Mm-hmm. If you can accept going 17-2 in a regular season, you got to accept being 1-5 or whatever. You gotta take it all. But we'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
But
all right.
Let's get into some little bit of early predictions here. We're almost halfway through the season.
Yeah.
And
I like this.
Okay. So, who, Sean, at this point, do you have in the NFC and AFC championship games?
All right.
Let's get into that. You go first. And let's go. You go first. Let's go NFC. NFC championship game. Who you got?
All right. So, I don't think there's going to be much surprise here. You might possibly agree with me, Josh, but I've been preaching it the last couple weeks. I'm a believer in Atlanta Falcons. What they did to Seattle, even though they lost, which they shouldn't have, even though they lost, Matt Ryan did phenomenal. That offense still looked good against the number one defense in the league. Well, right there with the Vikings. And I'm impressed. And they're going to get better and better each week. And Dan Quinn has done a phenomenal job with them. Now, that being said, I love the Vikings too. Vikings, Atlanta, NFC Championship game. Vikings, number one defense. Atlanta, number one offense.
Okay. Now, that's your NFC Championship game. And it just so happens to be my NFC Championship game. I mean, it's just too easy. You got the number one offense, number one defense. It's just, okay.
They're the only ones consistent.
Now, who is your dark horse candidate out of the NFC who can throw a wrench into that and possibly get into the NFC Championship game? I think we might be in agreement with here too.
Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
I know.
I was gonna say Chicago Bears. No. Oh, okay. No, it's got to be. You say Dallas Cowboys?
Man, how they're playing right now, I have to.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Seahawks. I'm gonna go Seahawks because they're consistent.
It's not bad.
They always get towards that, NFC Championship, Super Bowl. Yeah. I mean, they're still in their era.
I was this close to picking Seattle. The only reason it's not because I'm a fan. It's because Dallas has been more consistent on offense. Okay, so that's why.
Moving on to the AFC Championship
first.
game.
No,
I'll go first.
Ladies first.
All right. Patriots done. AFC Championship game. Book 'em. AFC Championship. I'm going to still go with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I knew it.
I'm going to still go Pittsburgh Steelers.
How did I know?
I'm a believer in the Steelers and the talent that they got. And I'm going to do that. And who was your AFC Championship game?
Now, obviously, Patriots. There's nothing to talk about. Now, this is a surprise for me. I was contemplating this before we made this video a million times.
Okay.
And Pittsburgh was my choice, but with this injury, I just can't do it. And it's going to be a shock, but I'm picking Oakland.
Oakland.
Raiders. They are in – I know they just got beat by the Chiefs, but that's a division game. Division games, anything can happen. But their offense has been pretty good. Derek Carr's been phenomenal this year.
Absolutely.
And they're winning games when they need to late in the game. So I just feel like Oakland.
I kind of like that pick, but here's why. Yep. And I'm gonna go against that. I got somebody else in the same division. My dark horse candidate is gonna be the Kansas City Chiefs.
I had a feeling
they're efficient as hell, and they on both sides of the ball they don't fuck up anything, and and they just got a. I mean, just tremendous talent. They got Jamal Charles back. So I think they can pull and run together, and I think they could be a dark horse candidate. And
that's a good pick, Josh. I like that.
Kansas City Chiefs.
I like that as a dark horse. Now, I have a different dark horse. One that is very shocking to me. And I don't know. I was about to pick the Chiefs. But I feel like Denver will beat the Chiefs and in that division, because they're in the division. I don't think Denver's not my dark horse, though. I just think that Kansas will lose enough games for that. My dark horse, God, I can't believe I'm saying this, the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills. And why is that? Because they are what?
On fire.
Exactly. They're one of the hottest teams in the league right now.
Yes. And I think that when Rex Ryan is motivated, he can be a good coach. We saw that with the Jets. And it looks like his defense is finally clicking. And I feel like he went to the AFC Championship 2 years in a row with a great defense, which looks like he's got that now.
Yeah.
But now he has even better offense, to me, than he had with the Jets. Tyrod Taylor, LaShawn McCoy. I know he's a little banged up right now, but I think he'll be back. And he's got Charles Clay and, a couple other weapons. Right. I like that offense, and I think that they'll do enough to upset some people.
Okay. So those are early predictions for our NFC AFC Championship games, as well as our dark horse candidates. Moving on to our next set of early predictions, end of the year awards in the NFL. Let's start with Rookie of the Year. I think we are unanimous in this. It is...
There's nothing to say. Ezekiel Elliott. We're moving on. There's nothing to say.
Okay. Coach of the Year.
I think we're in agreement. Mike Zimmer.
Exactly.
Vikings are undefeated with the injuries they've dealt with. Phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next, GM of the Year.
GM. I can't believe I'm going to say this. It almost sounds like a joke. I'm going to go Jerry Jones. Jones. Him drafting Dak and taking that chance, even though y'all needed defense, you needed defense more than you needed a running back. You went ahead and got Ezekiel Elliott, and then you addressed your quarterback situation with Dak Prescott, and That's it. That's enough for me. I'm gonna go Jerry Jones.
I am going with Rick Spielman. He's the GM for the Vikings. He made a trade that everybody thought was stupid. Why'd you go get Sam Bradford? Why'd you trade away all this stuff? And we're all looking stupid for questioning him.
Dude,
Sam Bradford has done great over there. And he's not destroying teams, but he's kind of doing what Dak has done. He's playing within the offense. He's letting his defense win the game, and he's just moving the ball. And that trade just blows my mind because I thought they were stupid. And I told you that when that happened. I was like, that's a desperation move. But it looks like the smart move because they are undefeated, and I don't see them being beat really by any teams. I feel like they're going to be the ones losing themselves.
Okay.
So.
All right. That was a good one. That was a great trade. Sam Bradford, last minute.
Can't believe said that. Sam Bradford, great trade.
Next up, I think another one that we are unanimous in, our MVP for the year so far, our early prediction is going to be
Matt Ryan.
I mean, you just carrying that team on your back. I mean, I know you got Julio Jones out there, but I mean, Matt Ryan is not new to the league. He's been around for quite a long time, and I've never seen him do this.
Back. He's not turning over the ball, and that's the key thing. Last year they had issues with turning over the ball, and they're not doing that no more.
And you know what? Matt Ryan is also my comeback player of the year. Last year was a pretty bad year for Matt Ryan, and he is torching the league. He is making Aaron Rodgers and everybody else, looking like a fool. Yeah. So he's my comeback player of the year as well.
I can see that. I like that. I like that pick. So,
okay. Man. All right. So those are our early predictions, and we will see how it goes at the end of the year.
This might change in like 3 weeks.
So. Yeah, I know. NFL is fucking nuts this year. So we'll see.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Moving on to our Week 7 picks. As you see here, we got our list of our games and where we are similar and where we are different. Let's starting off with Thursday Night Football. I picked the Bears because I'm going to pick the Bears. Duh. So you win that one.
Obviously.
Okay. Another game that we were different on, Lions and Redskins. I'm going Lions. You're going Redskins. Why?
Man, the Redskins are on a roll. I'm going to go with the hotter team. And even though the Lions are actually doing pretty good, the Redskins, I like their offense a little bit better and their defense a little bit better. So I got to go Redskins. Even though they're a division rival, I'd love the Lions to beat them. I still think the Redskins are going to win.
I know. I was surprised that you were going to choose the Redskins.
I'm not saying I want them to win. I'm thinking they're going to win. I'm just going with it.
You got to go with what you know. All right. Colts and Titans. I'm going Colts over the Titans because I just believe in Andrew Luck. So, I believe in Andrew Luck, T.Y. Hilton.
I think this is your Colt little fan side coming out, your fanboy.
I lived there for 5 years, and I got a little soft spot for the Colts, and I like Andrew Luck. And
why?
Titans, Titans. So I think the Colts are going to upset them.
Yeah, I can see that. Don't get me wrong. Andrew Luck is phenomenal. I love Andrew Luck, but their offensive line still sucks. Their defense still sucks. And guess whose defense doesn't suck? Tennessee Titans.
Right.
They are playing great defense, and they are running it down people's throats. And Mariota's been playing really good lately. I have to go Titans, man.
Okay. And don't forget to follow Frank Gore. He's a little, a lot of people are not.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Frank Gore. Titans defense is playing phenomenal right now, dude. I just can't.
Okay. Cardinals, Seahawks. This was really fucking tough, man, to go with. Tough. And I'm going to go with the team that has the best player right now, and I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals and David Johnson.
Yep.
You're going Seahawks.
I'm going Seahawks. I have to, man. The Seahawks have had the Cardinals number a lot more than, Cardinals have had theirs. I feel like even though the Cardinals actually beat them last year, right? But to me, the Seahawks are kind of starting to get their rhythm. And I think that last week win against the Falcons just boost their morale, and I think they're gonna beat Cardinals.
Well,
they're gonna pick off Carson Palmer 2 times.
No.
I predict
Carson
that.
Palmer is gonna hit Larry Fitzgerald for 2 touchdowns. David Johnson's gonna have a touchdown.
Well, I hope David Johnson does because I have him in fantasy. I think we both do.
Yeah, we both do.
So.
All right, now going into our upset picks of the week, which are our last 2 games that we got here. Let's go with mine first. Chargers and Falcons. We just talked about the Falcons. We boasted the Falcons, but I think this is a trap game for the Falcons. The Chargers have been just on the cusp of winning, and they got a lot of talent there. Their defense is very underrated, especially in the secondary. I think they're going to give Matt Ryan some trouble there. So I'm going with the Chargers as the upset pick of the week for me.
So I have one question for you, though. Have you been drinking? Because that's the stupidest pick I've ever heard you make. Are you sure?
Nope. Level-headed, and I'm going to be right. Just watch.
I don't know what to say right now because, first, if the Seattle Seahawks can't slow down Matt Ryan, how the hell San Diego Chargers secondary is going to slow him down?
Their secondary is underrated. Very underrated.
They just came off of a bullshit loss to Falcons. And you think they're going to have a trap game? No, they're going to come out and whoop some ass.
We'll see. I think Chargers are due.
I think you're stupid.
Okay. Your upset pick of the week is actually Monday Night Football. Hopefully it's not another boring primetime game, field goals and bullshit and penalties. What we got?
God. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about penalties. Anyways, I'm picking I couldn't believe I said it, but I'm picking the Texans.
I can't believe it.
What the offense looked like in Denver last week just looks horrible. And I feel like Houston kind of got a little rhythm, and they finally got Lamar Miller going. Fingers crossed. I think Houston's going to pull it off.
But Brock Osweiler, Sean. Osweiler.
That's why I didn't mention him. I'm talking about Lamar Miller. All right? Let's not change the subject. Okay? I don't want to talk about Brock Osweiler.
You better hope they give Lamar Miller all the carries, receptions, because Denver's actually not really that good against the run this year, surprisingly. Nope. So they're going to win. That's how they're going to win.
I hope so.
So you got Broncos. So you got Texans over the Broncos. Unbelievable. All right.
I know. Crazy.
That does it for our Week 7 picks.
God.
Time will tell. I know another week to see who's right, me or that guy over there. But coming up next is our home stretch.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's go through this pretty quick. I don't think there's much to talk about. I think we're going to be pretty much right on it on pretty much every single thing. The first one's going to be Geno Smith starting, which no surprise there. I don't know. I'm shocked right now. What do you think about what's going on with Ryan Fitzpatrick?
He sucks. He
no words,
sucks.
right? No words. He went from playing really good last year, finally getting his contract, and then just shit in the bed. No, you have.
Isn't that what he does though? Isn't that what he does at every team? He does enough to make you go, oh man, this guy's pretty damn good. Let's give him a contract, and then he fucks you. That's what Ryan Fitzpatrick does. He's trolling another team. And here comes Geno Smith, and the Jets are just screwed. I mean,
the Jets are.
Brandon Marshall. I mean, let's talk about Brandon Marshall real quick. Brandon Marshall, he was like, "We're gonna ride or die. I'm going down the ship with Ryan Fitzpatrick." And then Geno Smith's named the starter, and all of a sudden he's like, he's all smiles and boasting up Geno Smith. I mean, what the fuck was that? Like,
he has to, man. You
I know he has to, but god damn, that's such bullshit.
Geno, they kind of have to give Geno a chance, man. It's his last year in his rookie contract. Him and Ryan Fitzpatrick both are on a 1-year contract, or pretty much 1-year contract, right? This is pretty much like a test. Who's going to be their quarterback? Is it going to be Geno? Let's see what he's got for the rest of the year, because obviously we see Ryan Fitzpatrick leads the league in interceptions. We already see what he's got. They kind of have to, man. I think this season's shot for him anyways. What do you have to lose?
All right. Okay, so Geno Smith, Jets, screwed. Moving on to our next topic, passing interference calls. There's been a lot of hoopla this past week about whether or not passing interference calls should be reviewable or challenged. What do you think? Should they?
If I was the Falcons, I'd be saying yes, but no. Just because you can't open that can of worms, it's a judgment call. And, even though, we're like, how did they not call it? It's clearly obvious. Once you open up that one can of worms, it's going to come to the other ones. All the other judgment calls. Oh, was the whistle blown? It shouldn't have been blown. Was the forward progress really there? It's getting to that point where it's getting too nitpicky, and you can't open that can of worms. It's human error. To me, you got to leave it as part of the game.
Yeah, I think it's just ridiculous that it's even being talked about, and I hope that it doesn't even get discussed in the offseason, because I think that's just going to slow down the game. It's going to make even more commercials. People are going to turn the channel, turn off the game, just lead to more ratings drops. It's just stupid.
That's true.
So, But here's something I'm really excited about.
What's that, Josh?
We are days away from the start of the NBA season.
Yep.
Sean, what are you looking forward to the most this NBA season?
Besides my Dallas Mavericks winning the whole thing. All right. I'm just kidding. They're not going to win the whole thing. But it'd be awesome if they did. Man, I don't know. I think it's going to be awesome to see Golden State even getting Durant not win the whole thing. I'm hoping anyways. No, honestly, I'm excited because there's a lot of free agents that have moved. D Rose in New York, joining Carmelo. Then you have Dwayne Wade going to Chicago, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of new faces in new cities. Harrison Barnes in Dallas. Bogut's in Dallas. There's a lot of movement, and I'm excited. Pau Gasol and Spurs, your Spurs.
That's what I'm looking forward to the most. Yeah. I'm looking forward to what the San Antonio Spurs are going to look like the post Tim Duncan era.
Sad day.
We've transitioned from other eras, David Robinson, and now we're moving on from Tim Duncan, and we've had success. And I think we'll still continue to have success. We could pick up Paul Gasol for, a temporary shoe-in for that Tim Duncan role for the next maybe 2-3 years or so. But, all the focus is on Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Aldridge, and how they really carry this team. And
y'all will be good.
And, of course, I'm looking forward to the Chicago Bulls. Dwayne Wade, Rondo, Jimmy Butler, and, it's going to be great.
It's going to be interesting.
Moving on to baseball. And the Cleveland Indians have advanced to the World Series. They beat the Toronto Blue Jays 4-1. And so now Cleveland looks like they're potentially going to end another drought for one of their sports teams.
Yep. It's Cleveland's year this year, man. I'm telling you.
Now,
it is, except for the Browns, but
are you excited for them? Are you excited that Cleveland is finally getting this love and some of this
I love underdogs.
Good luck.
I love underdogs. It's a simple fact. I think most people love the underdog story.
And who's more of an underdog of a city than Cleveland?
Nobody thought Cleveland, even though Cleveland's not really an underdog because they were one of the top teams in the league, but they weren't even considered to be even a threat to make it that far in the beginning of the year. So to me, it's still kind of like that. Is this true? Is this real? But it's going to be interesting. They're in the World Series, so they have a chance. And that's what's crazy.
Them being in the World Series, Cleveland, do you think this is going to hurt the ratings for the World Series, whether they go on to face the Dodgers or the Cubs?
I would say yes, only if the Dodgers make it. If it's the Cubs, no. Who's going to say no to watching the Cubs try to break the curse, right? Nobody. Everybody's going to be watching that fucking series.
That would be a great World Series. Two teams with such long history of heartache. And let's go ahead and talk about my Chicago Cubs and the NLCS against the Dodgers.
Pulled out the W.
Yeah, they pulled out the win in Game 5. And now the Cubs are leading the series 3-2. They went to LA. They lost that first game to was it Rich Hill? I think it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the Cubs, let me tell you the perspective of a Cubs fan. When we lost, to Chicago and then we lose in the first game in LA, we were done.
Yep.
Curses back. We were just like ready to just hang low. But then we come back and win 2 games in a row, and now we're 1 game away from elimination and going on to the World Series to face the Indians. Do you think my Cubbies will get there Saturday night?
Definitely, dude. I felt like y'all really needed to win this last game, or tonight, and y'all did. And like, y'all are the most talented team. I think y'all are gonna win it all. But that being said, I love it, man. Y'all had that adversity, and y'all overcame it. With all that emotion, with all the distractions of all people talking about it, like you just said, all the fans going crazy. I guarantee you all the news outlets were talking about it. But they stuck together, and they won 2 back-to-back to take the lead, 3-2. And I think it's going to happen.
Loving it.
It's going to happen.
Loving it, man. I'm very, very excited, very happy.
I know. I bet you are.
All right, so that does it for all of our sports topics for the week. Now we're going to look into our hero and villain of the week, our asshole, if you will, of the week. All right, Sean, who's your hero this year?
All right, my hero is David Johnson.
David Johnson.
Like we talked about, we both have him in some fantasy leagues. And this guy, he won me 1 league. Phenomenal. I was down by like 20 points, and he scored me like almost 30-something, 39 or something. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
He went off. They finally fed the beast, and it's phenomenal. I loved him.
He is looking like a superhero. My hero of the week is Addison Russell, the hero of the past 2 Cubs wins. He was in a huge slump. Joe Madden moves him back in the lineup, and Addison Russell just destroyed Game 4 and 5 with back-to-back days of home runs, two-run home runs, and so Addison Russell, my hat's off to you, sir. You are the fucking man of these past 2 games, and why we are 1 game away from elimination of the Dodgers. Villain.
Yep.
What's your villain?
Villains. I have 2. Well, they're in the same category. The referees. For 2 different games, though. 2 sets of referees. First one was from the stupid-ass Thursday night game with Denver. Okay? They were calling every holding call against Denver I could think of. I can't remember more than 3 plays without a flag. In a row. 3 plays in a row without a flag. Every time, and it pissed me off because I have C.J. Anderson. Maybe that's why I'm a little bitter. But every time C.J. Anderson had a long-ass run, all of a sudden there's a fucking flag on the floor, on the ground. Oh, he had a touchdown catch, broke 5 tackles, and scored a touchdown. Oh, my God, there's a flag. And I was like, great, awesome, fantastic. And then, obviously, the most talked about one is the Falcons. I don't understand how you can miss that call. You see Richard Sherman grabbing his arm in mid-flight. I don't understand how you don't throw that flag right there. It stuns to me. So the referees just piss me off.
All right. Well, my villain of the week is Clayton Kershaw. I hate him.
Yeah.
I hate him. He's probably the best pitcher in baseball. Cy Young award-winning pitcher. Yep. He shut us out, and
he destroyed y'all.
Yeah, he shut us out, and he's going to be playing in Game 6 in Chicago. And I hate this guy. He is our worst enemy right now. So Clayton Kershaw.
How sweet would it be to beat him?
It would be great. It'd be absolutely great to win against Kershaw. That'd be great. So he is my villain. Yeah. All right. So getting into non-sports related entertainment. Sean, what you got going on for yourself? What you getting into, man?
This past weekend, I went and watched The Accountant, which was different. It was different than what I thought, but it's still a pretty good movie.
I gotta check it out.
I'm gonna stick to movies, man. Jack Reacher's coming out. Well, today. It's Friday. And Jack Reacher is going to be a great movie, I think. I love the first one. I'm not sure if you watched it, Josh, but
no,
it's pretty much Tom Cruise being a fucking badass, and it was a great movie.
Is it kind of like Mission Impossible, or
no?
Is he like Jason Bourne? Like, is he like an assassin? Like...
No, not at all. Pretty much, he's like a military cop kind of guy who's just a badass. So I'll leave it at that. You gotta watch the first one, and then you'll understand. The second one's gonna be great. It's coming out, so I want to go watch it.
All right. Well, here's what I'm gonna be getting into: horror movies, horror movies, horror movies. I mean, it's Halloween time. I'm gonna be watching some of the classics. Gonna watch Freddy Krueger. Gonna watch Jason.
Put on any channel, they have scary movies. Like, it doesn't matter where you go. It's
gonna watch
marathon right now.
Yeah, Saw the movies, of course, and then of course the one that I have to watch every single year. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. That's a classic that I've had to watch every year since I was a child, and
how cute.
So I'm gonna get all that in, as well as fit in some Supernatural. Got to still catch up on that.
I need you to catch up so we can talk about it.
Yeah. So that's what I'll be getting into. Now, getting into shout-outs, man. Who are you shouting out this week?
Oh, man. My shout-out. And no surprise, it's my Dallas Cowboys. But our offensive line. Like I said earlier, they are the reason we are 5-1. They have dominated everybody, and they're making Dak Prescott, these two rookies, Elliott and Prescott, their jobs are so easy. There's no stress on them. There's no pressure. Mm-hmm. And, dude, that offensive line is the reason we are 5-1. I'm not trying to take anything away from Elliott or Prescott. They're playing phenomenal, but we see what they're doing with the good talent behind them, you know? And I just have to give out to them, man. They're phenomenal. Phenomenal.
My shout out of the week is going to what I've been keep talking about. Cubs. My shout out goes to the Cubs. Chicago Cubs.
Can't get you to stop talking about those.
Saturday, hey, we've been waiting since 1908. Saturday night, we're going to win, and we're going to go to the World Series. So shout out to the Chicago Cubs. Let's do it, baby.
I hope y'all break the curse.
All right, that does it for this week of the Weekly Fury. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode, and just a little bit something to look forward to for me and Sean. Mm-hmm. We, next week, are going where, Sean?
Oh, yeah. I forgot to... I can't believe we haven't mentioned that this whole video.
Where we going
next week? We're going to Nashville, Tennessee.
For what?
We're going to go watch Tennessee Titans and play the Jacksonville Jaguars. On Thursday Night Football, it's going to be amazing. Road trip. It's literally 1 week away. We're going to be already there. Oh, God.
Taking a road trip to go watch football. Does it really get any much better than that? Especially knowing that the Cubs are in the World Series by that point. I can't wait, man. It's going to be a blast. As soon as you get off work, you're going to head up my way, and then we're going to take off to Nashville, and we're going to spend a couple of days out there, and we're going to have a blast and hopefully get some great footage and see.
We'll definitely upload it. We're going to upload it. We're going to try to record some videos for us driving, us eating White Castle. That's going to be the best part.
All right.
Besides the football.
Of course, getting some good Nashville food and what they have to offer.
Yep.
All right, well, that does it. And make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, share this video. And we'll see you next week.
Later.